There you go.
Alliance, brand new company. Steven tells me that they broke off from Grand Design, a couple of guys. Is that right?
Yeah, they're awesome.
So do they rock and roll like Grand Design, you think?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they're new to you, but from what you've seen.
They are awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, check out the
Alliance.
inside. They have a lot of stuff to think about. He said that again. I said you. Yeah. I said you would like. That's for your water hose.
Hey, I'm Shane.
Shane, what's happening?
Good to meet you, Jeremiah. So brand new company, huh? How
Brand new.
exciting.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting.
So they worked with Grand Design at first and then broke off on their own. Is that a true story?
No, there were some people that worked at Grand Design
That came over.
Yeah, they came over. There's actually it's kind of a melting pot of all over the industry.
Okay.
Veterans.
Gotcha. And how long y'all been making fifth wheels?
So actually, we've been making fifth wheels now for just over a couple months.
Wow.
We've been out since the company originated last spring. And what they did is these guys actually went to these forums and focus groups and spent 6 months doing research on what do full-time customers and consumers want in the product.
Okay.
So that's kind of where this whole thing originated, and like some of the ideas behind it were customer-driven feedback.
Okay. Awesome. So you've got 2 units here.
2 units.
Now, which ones are they similar, or and are these your top? You have one of your top units here?
Yeah, actually, both of these have been really good selling floor plans for us. We've got our 310 RL, which is state park accessible, under 35 foot. It's the shortest one we build. Actually, it's been the hit of this show. And then our 370 FB, which is a front bath, beautiful front bath, huge closet, just right at 40 foot.
Gotcha.
So-
I got a friend here that wants to see. He said, "I like to see the docking center and the off-floor side basement."
The basement and the
Must be.
okay. So here's a massive storage.
That is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So y'all decided to go with the aluminum.
Yep, absolutely. Instead of the wood. So the only
No,
part
instead of the steel.
instead of the steel, yeah, aluminum's lighter weight, more rigid.
And y'all have a valve system on the water?
Yeah, so all of our, if you see those independent shut-off switches,
I do.
So if you ever have a water issue going down the road, it's
Like a
preventable,
Ford.
so you don't have to shut the whole
Sure.
coach off. You
Right.
can just
Shut
shut
that
off
line.
individual lines and still utilize all the other water inside the coach.
Gotcha. Now what about let's back up a little bit and talk
Yep.
about construction.
Construction, yeah.
Yeah, so from axle, I see you've got 3,000s on here.
So we've got 7,000 pound axles. So we actually, starting with the foundation, and that's where we started the coach. Start with the foundation. We've got G-rated tires rated at 4,400 pounds a piece. We didn't stop there. We put 7,000 pound Dexter axles on it. On top of those axles, we've actually given customer feedback was that the springs are having a tough time. The leaf springs are flattening out over time. So we've upgraded those springs to actually have 8,000 pound rated springs on the 7,000 pound axles.
Okay.
The other thing that I want you to notice is this crush tube that we're putting underneath the 10-inch. So you got a 10-inch I-beam, and then we got a 2-inch crush tube that the leaf springs and the suspension is adhered to.
Gotcha. Now this is upgraded suspension, but it's not quite considered independent suspension, right?
No, it's not an independent suspension.
So what is the upgrade when you see a Creed 3000?
So a CRE 3000 is actually
I'm
it's
sorry,
got 3
CRE.
inches of travel. So it's a suspension enhancement on top of your leaf springs. You got an inch and a half of travel up, inch and a half of travel down.
Gotcha.
And that's going to help protect your belongings as you're going down the road.
I got you. So it's somewhere in between a rigid axle and a
That's
independent
correct.
suspension.
Yep.
Gotcha. Now your wall construction on these.
Yep. So one of the unique things, and it's something that you can't see, touch, or feel, but behind this high gloss finish, we actually use Azdale in our sidewalls, which is an inorganic material that won't absorb water, won't mildew, mold, and stuff like that. So it's going to help prevent delamination.
All right. So these are rolled.
Yeah, it is a pinch rolled
Pencil.
system.
Okay. And the roof.
You've got on the roof, it's a 5.5 inch truss roof. It is wood trusses. The reason why we do that is it's got a higher retention for your nails and screws.
Okay.
Also, we use a PVC material, which is patchable and comes with a 15-year warranty. on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's lightweight,
No,
tear
they're
resistant.
patchable, and
yeah,
then that's why you got the warranty, 'cause you ain't gonna
absolutely.
need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another unique feature that we're doing with construction and stuff that you can't see, touch, or feel is we're using all MS polymers on our seals. So, a fun fact about that is, and I didn't know, the industry standard is silicone.
Okay.
Well, silicone doesn't adhere to silicone. So they tell you to check your seals and everything as you're going down the road over time. Well, silicone doesn't adhere to silicone. Like if you have a seal void, for a seal void repair, you would have to take it from here to here and take all the silicone off and then rebead it.
Fun.
With the MS polymer, silicone will adhere to it and or the MS polymer will. So you can just do the little patches. I mean, and over a span of, some of these slide outs and the seals can be 15 foot long.
Sure.
So
They really can. So
it's all kinds of little things that we're doing differently, and like I said, driven off of customer feedback from these focus groups and people that actually can.
Okay. Can we go to the other side and look
Yeah.
at the water
Absolutely.
system and the leveling system?
Yep.
So we got a Rotoflex.
Rotoflex pin box, so that's going to take that chucking and the bucking as you're going down the road.
Now, do we have any pre-wiring for?
So this one is not equipped with generator. You can get Gen Prep and or a Onan 5.5 generator.
Okay. That's steel.
Yep. Yeah, the frame is actually steel. Just what you were seeing in the underbelly,
Yeah.
that was the floor.
Right.
So the,
Okay.
the aluminum, it's an all. The subfloor is aluminum, but the actual framing is steel.
It's still
It
steel.
is, yes,
Okay.
it's steel.
Gotcha. Right. Now, do y'all have legacy packages or anything like that?
We don't have any packages right now. So what we're doing, I mean, everything, we have the most standard features at this price point. I mean, option-wise, we've got a couple no-charge options if you want a queen bed in place of a king bed or residential in place of a gas-electric refrigerator. We do offer dual pane windows. We do have a full-body paint, generator, and Gen Prep. But other than that, everything on here is standard.
So y'all are hitting the largest market first.
We're hitting the largest mark first, absolutely.
All right. Cool.
So right here's our docking station. You got basically a color-coded diagram to dictate if you're dry camping, your power fill, city fill. A lot of manufacturers just put the nodules on there and you don't know how to operate. Like,
Right.
okay, how do you do this? And it's all guesswork, trial and error. We take the guesswork out of it. All of our valves and hookups are inside of the heated storage compartment. Easily black. You got 2 black tanks. We got the largest tanks in the
So there's 2 bathrooms in here?
2 bathrooms in this
And
one.
so the evacuation of those 2 black tanks, are there 2 evacuation points?
Nope, you got one sewer hole.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're not having
Well, it
2
matters,
hookups.
too, yeah.
Well, hey, it's the worst part about
Yeah,
camping.
sure.
Is hooking up.
And it's us.
Yeah,
Yeah, while the
it's
women
this right
are
here.
inside, right.
So another thing that we've done is we've added this sewer hose caddy, place to put your gloves and everything like that. Speaking of the dirtiest part about camping,
Nice, I like
most
it.
unpleasant. So you've got a place to store your gloves.
So
or
you
any of
really
your-
are a thinking company.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Forward thinking for sure.
Good.
And like I said, I mean, we can't take all the credit because a lot of our customers have gave us these ideas
Sure.
through Facebook and the forums and focus groups.
Well, when you're smart enough to listen, though.
We have the largest furnace out there, 42,000 BTU furnace.
All right, and the water, the freshwater tanks. How big are they?
102.
102. And the leveling system's here.
Right here. 6-point auto level.
Now, is there any inverter prep or?
So if you get the solar package, you get a 2,000 watt inverter. If
Really?
you get a
You do get
residential,
2,000?
2,000 watt inverter. And if you
So
get,
it's more than just a fridge, you're saying?
yes, it's
You
more
can
than
run
just
your TV. You know?
correct.
Yeah.
So the fridge, if you get the residential refrigerator, you actually will have a 1,000 watt inverter on that
Right,
one.
but it's dedicated.
It is dedicated.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, cool beans. Well, I appreciate your time.
Oh, absolutely, Shane.
Jeremiah.
Very nice
And
to meet you.
Research your company a little more. Hey,
Hey,
Shane.
Shane, Austin with Moride.
Oh, good to meet you, man. I love your product. I mean, y'all are the name in suspension in my book.
Yeah.
And stairs.
That's right.
You have come on the market with these stairs hard.
Yeah,
Everyone wants them. Everyone loves them.
that's right.
But you have a lot of good products. I'm under the impression.
We like to think so. So I'll walk you through a few different things real quick. So the stairs are what we've been getting a lot of attention on the last few years. They came out back in 2016. We started with one manufacturer in particular that had exclusive rights to them, but then in the last few years, it's been growing in popularity and also in different variations that we have.
Okay.
So we have the 2, 3, and the 4 steps. You can retrofit these to just about any trailer by just measuring your height and your width measurement. And then all it takes to install these is just a few screws right on the inside of the doorway. So the steps, they're more stable. You're not bouncing in and out of the RV anymore. They're a lot more secure. And all you have to do is set them into the doorway, close your door over top of it, and you're good to go. So it's
I've noticed too, they're wider steps than any other RV steps.
yeah.
They're
so
deeper, I mean.
They're deeper, and we actually offset your step tread, so it's more like a residential rise and run.
That's
so
why I feel. I mean, because
it's
this
more
is just
natural.
solid,
Yep.
going up and down. I mean,
That's
it truly is.
Yeah, so typically most RV steps, they're free floating. They don't have legs that go all the way to the ground. With our steps, you can just push these little pins out. You can adjust them up and down, slide it back in, and that accommodates for uneven terrain. So they're a lot more convenient. They don't weigh very much. They're all aluminum extrusion, so it doesn't weigh very much at all. And we have a couple accessories with our handrail that can mount right on the inside of the steps. They fold into the doorway, and it helps bridge that gap between being on the ground and getting into the RV.
You said they fold into the doorway, so no taking them off and putting them in the basement or any of that junk.
Yep, nothing like that. So all you have to do is just bolt them right on the inside of the steps, fold them into the RV, and you're good to go. Another thing we came out with after customers kind of gave us some feedback is this storage box. So it's a great place for extra gear like leveling blocks, wheel chocks, anything you need to set up your RV. This bolts in to the existing locations where your old steps used to be. No drilling, no modifying, no welding, nothing like that. It's just a direct bolt on.
So you
Gives
said
you-
where the steps used to be.
Yeah.
So where is that?
So what I mean by that is typically your old steps under the RV are going to be down here. So
Okay.
you have your old fold-out steps.
Yeah.
You just unbolt your old steps down there, place the storage box in the same place using the same frame hangers, and that way you have your wheel blocks, landing chocks, and then you just access your stairs. You're already set up. So everything's all in one place.
Now, what if you buy a unit that has these already?
If you already have these pre-installed from the factory, you cannot add the storage box, but you do have the option to add the handrail.
Okay, great.
Yep. So we'll move on to another one of our products that we're pretty proud of.
And known for.
So this is for fifth wheel owners only. This is
That would be us.
our rubber pin box. So what we do, you can see here, we did a cutout of the side, some of the components on the inside of this. What we're known for is going to be this rubber feature on the inside of here.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that rubber block gives you a cushion sensation moving forward and backward. Typically you have a steel hitch, you have a steel pin box, so you get that banging forward and backward. With our rubber pin box, since we have that rubber block on the inside, it kind of moves forward and backward. It gives you a gliding sensation.
Right.
So it moves forward and backward 3 inches, moves from side to side 1.5 inches. And so what that does is it alleviates a lot of that chucking and jerking that's common in most fifth wheels. It gives you a smoother in-cab ride, so people that are in the truck can actually feel a smooth sensation going over rough roads.
Gotcha.
What we did is we used this same technology, the rubber pin box, rubber shear spring, and we incorporated it into our suspension system.
Now we're getting into what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Everything everything I've seen about MORryde is quality, but this is really exciting to me.
And this is something that makes a world of difference. So we talk about RVs being a house on wheels, and the only way to make a firm foundation for your house is to take care of some of the suspension systems underneath. So what you're doing with the CRE 3000 and our upgraded SRE 4000 is we're incorporating rubber to the inside of here. So you have a rubber block, you have a direct vertical travel slot, and what that rubber block does on the inside is it cushions and absorbs. It travels up and down, and it rocks from side to side. So
Really?
as this is compressing up and down and rocking from side to side, it allows you to have about 3 inches of wheel travel. All that means is that your wheels can now move up and down 3 inches before any of that vibration, road shock, is going into the trailer frame. So
Now, do they move together or do they move individually?
they'll move individually. So you will have a axle here, you'll have an axle here, and this is equalizing the weight from axle to axle.
So with this upgrade, it's almost simulating independent suspension.
Yeah, so
As far as each tire taking its own absorption, up to 3 inches.
each axle will move independently of one another, and this equalizes the weight. So as your front wheel bounces up, it'll compress out your leaf spring, it'll flatten out your shackle link, it'll be moving up and down, and this will bump up, and then as your back wheel hits that same bump, it's going to bump back the other way. So it's all compressing and moving up and down.
Right.
So with this, you get about 3 inches of wheel travel. You get a lot of that absorption of the road energy and the road shock. But with our upgraded premium suspension over here, I'll move the cup out of the way. We got our SRE 4000. This stands for 4 inches of wheel travel. SRE stands for shear rubber equalizer,
Shear rubber.
meaning that we have a cast steel box, then we have rubber on the inside using a process called vulcanization. No one really knows what it means, but what we're doing is we're vulcanizing, we're adhering rubber to steel, and so that is now moving in a shearing motion up and down. So instead of compressing like the CRE 3000, we're moving in a shearing motion directly vertically up and down. So CRE 3000, you get 3 inches. SRE 4000, you get 4 inches of wheel travel. It has about 200% more rubber. It absorbs a lot more of that road shock, that bad energy that goes into the trailer. Both of these are going to prevent your doors from swinging open, your drawers from sliding out, stuff from falling off the counters, and it just all around, it gives you a firmer foundation on your RV.
Okay, so anyone that has axles can add these as an upgrade to their fifth wheel
Correct.
or travel trailer, correct?
Yeah, so these are all direct bolt-on. So you can see here, all it takes, you would disconnect your shackle links to your leaf springs, disconnect your CRE 3000 here, or your old suspension, then plug in your CRE 3000 right in the middle.
Okay.
Same with the suspension with the SRE 4000. And then we have a bolt-on cross member as well up top.
Oh, nice.
So that's just a cutout version, display version, but what that is it's a lateral support that holds your frame hangers in place. So typically as you're kind of backing into tight spaces, you can see your wheels kicking out to the side, which most people have noticed before. Hear some creaking and some popping noises. This actually holds everything together, so it's all nice and firm. It's pulling against itself, so your frame hangers aren't tweaking, they're not turning, they're not moving at all.
Yeah. Now, what are the weight ratings on these?
So this has a weight rating up to 7,000 pound axles,
Okay.
meaning that any unit that has 7,000 pounds or less can use this SRE 4000. This one, surprisingly, actually has a 8,000 pound axle weight rating.
Okay.
Reason for it is it can compress up and down a little bit more. And this one, if you overload the weight on the rubber piece on the inside, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and doesn't give you that full 4 inches of wheel travel.
Now, those with tri-axles, would they have any problem installing these?
No problem at all. It's just a different part number, a little bit more expensive because you're doubling up the components in between the axles, but it's the same process. You disconnect your shackles, you disconnect your center equalizer bolt, and then you're just installing it the exact same way.
Nice.
Yep.
Now, what do we have here?
So these are a very important upgrade. A lot of the manufacturers use 1/4-inch shackle kits directly on the unit. So you can see here in this image here, we get calls all day long with broken shackle links. They're only 1/4-inch thick. That's what comes standard from the factory. They use plastic bushings, and they're sufficient for the most part until they're not. So with the greasable bolts, you have a lubricated bolt system, you have bronze bushings on the inside, and you have double thick shackle links, meaning that, say for instance, you have a 15,000 pound trailer, you spread that between a couple axles and your tongue weight, all of that's sitting directly on these shackle links, and as you're going over rough roads, anything that your leaf springs does not take care of as far as compression and absorption is hitting these shackle links directly. So these things are banging up and down all day long. They start to wallow out
That's a point
inside
of
that
stress,
it's
yeah.
a point of stress, exactly. So for about $100 on a tandem axle trailer, you can switch out the whole components on the trailer. Gives you the peace of mind of not worrying about a shackle link breaking, your leaf spring flying up into the bottom of the coach. It's just an all-around heavier
So
duty
how
setup.
much is the CRE 3000 again?
So the CRE 3000 is roughly $250 to $300
For an axle?
for a tandem axle trailer. So that does both.
Up to 2 axles.
Yep, that does both sides. A little bit more than that for a triple axle, but you would get a set of these for about $250 to $300.
Okay.
You can get a set of these, which again does the whole trailer for about $100 to $150.
No brainer all the way around.
No brainer. And then for this guy, you're looking anywhere from I'd say $375 to $475. So somewhere in that price range.
Yeah,
But
so
again,
if I had 7,000 pound axles, I would definitely get the extra inch of travel.
Absolutely.
Because the price is so nominal.
right, it's
and
nominal,
the difference.
and you get that cross member with it, which is a huge benefit.
Let's say we do want the best.
Yep.
And that is the MORryde independent suspension.
That's the MORryde independent suspension. So that's where you don't have any suspension at all as far as bolt-in equalizers. We remove your frame hangers, we remove your suspension, we remove your axles entirely, and we actually add our own beam assembly underneath.
Wait, say that again. You remove the axles?
We remove the axles and we attach what's called a beam assembly. So it's a steel
Is it like
It's a steel cross member that's going to be bigger than this.
Okay.
It spans the full width of the trailer and it mounts up to the hangers or the frame of the trailer. And that gives you all the way up to 5.5 inches of wheel travel. It's the Cadillac suspension. It's a premium upgrade, so there's some cost to it.
Sure.
But
what,
it's,
about $8,000?
Yeah, it can be anywhere from, I'd say, 6 to 8, 9 grand, somewhere
Well,
in there.
that's what they charge you on a unit if you want to upgrade. If you're ordering like
Right.
from
Direct
the factory, your fifth wheel.
Yep, and that's all dependent on.
But we
what-
don't have to get it that way, do we? I mean, let's say I already own my unit and I want some more ride.
Yep.
How would I go about getting it?
Yeah, so you can give us a call at our local office in Elkhart, Indiana. There's 2 facilities that can install the independent suspension. These guys, you can work with any local dealership, RV dealership, to have them installed. But with the independent suspension, you have to call us directly to book an appointment. You can give us a call at 574-293-1581.
Could you repeat that one more
Yep.
time while they grab a pen?
That's right,
Okay.
574-293-1581.
Okay.
Ask for parts or service and we'll work you into our schedule.
Wonderful.
Or you can go online to www.morryde.com, MORRYDE.com, and you can schedule it that way as well.
And that's MORryde spelled.
And so we'll move on to a couple other quick products that we got here. So the
Oh, I've
cargo
seen this,
sliding tray.
especially some of the fancy basements they have in the bottom.
Yep.
Or you can add these, right, to get to your stuff.
Exactly
Like the
right.
stuff that's in the back, it slides it right to you. Am I right on that?
Yep, that's right. So these sliding trays come in about 45 different sizes. There's different variations. All it takes to install them is a few screws underneath. We recommend having a couple of people install them just to lift them in place, make sure they're level and square.
Just for the weight?
Yep, just for the weight, but they have a 800-pound weight capacity. Again, they come fully assembled, so it's just a matter of setting it in place, zipping it to the floor, and then you have easy access to all the gear underneath the RV.
Nice.
Most
And what
people-
sizes do these come in?
Anywhere from 20 inches narrow to 52 inches wide,
Okay.
and then 36 inches
In
long.
increments of,
Yep, they're kind of random and sporadic, but
maybe they
about
know the
8
RVs that are being made.
Exactly, about 8-ish inches, 4 to 8 inches.
So you'll have one to fit most, basically.
Yeah, I'd say 90%. If not, you can go a couple inches narrower, and you
And
might
then you're
lose a little
okay.
bit, but you're still way more convenient that way.
Gotcha.
And then
y'all-
we
y'all
also
make
got
power
wheel.
Yep, this is a power reel for your power cord. Fits up to 50 feet of 50 amp cord. It's a lot more convenient. Most people deal with, they call them the anaconda cords
Oh,
because they
yeah,
have
they're
them laying on the
stiff,
ground.
too.
They're stiff, especially if they've laid out overnight. They're nearly impossible to deal with. So a lot of people will wind them up, throw them in a plastic compartment, stick them in their storage bay. They're dirty. They take up a lot of space. They're awkward. They're no fun to deal with. So with this, you're feeding in the one end of the cord into the crank mechanism, then all you're doing is you're reeling it up, you're reeling it up. You can take a cloth in one hand, and as it's reeling up, you're actually cleaning it off as well.
Neat.
So a lot more convenient, a lot more efficient storage, and we have a couple
That's my
options
bag.
there as well.
My bag, by the way.
So we have several different trays. We have cargo trays, freezer trays, generator trays, whatever your need is, we probably have it.
Battery tray?
Battery trays as well. So,
Nice.
yep, we call them our utility trays, and they're universal. They work on just about anything.
Why you got a tent here? Is this a kissing booth?
That's a kissing booth. Yeah, that's exactly right. No other purpose. No, we call this our Patio EX. This is a new fun product for us. We're known primarily in the industry.
It turns it into like a, I wouldn't say tent, but almost like a pop-up.
Yeah, it doubles your living space on the back end of fifth wheel toy haulers. So we're pretty excited about this product. We're known for our metal fabrication products. We got into this air beam technology. So all these pulls here, a lot of people think is like a heavy duty foam, but it's actually just all air beam technology.
Wow.
So what we do is it comes in a duffel bag about the size of your arms. You set it out inside your patio system. You lay it out. It comes with a two-way pump. You pump it up. You're good to go. And there you go. So this is a fun product for us. We got insect barrier here for all the people that. So I'm from Indiana. The mosquitoes there are the size of birds.
Really?
And so this protects you from being outside with the insects, especially mosquitoes. It keeps you completely watertight. So we use this magnetic strip up and around the door frame of fifth wheel toy haulers. It magnetizes to the outside frame, keeps you out of the rain. The rain drains off the sides and down the back end. We got the bug insect screen that you see here. We have a clear see-through version that's good for water repellent as well, completely waterproof. Then if you need extra privacy, we also have the privacy screen. So the nice part about this, it doubles the storage or the living space on the back end of your fifth wheel toy hauler. It's really convenient. I timed myself the other day. It took me 4 minutes to set it up, so it takes no time at all. And it doubles the space. So a lot of people want to throw their kids or their in-laws back
that's what
here.
I was going to ask you. So if you need a blow up, you got more kids than you expected or something. That's what it can be used for?
Absolutely.
Or, I mean, you wouldn't really want to necessarily hang out in here. It's to extend it
Right.
for extra floor space, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, so a lot of people have their bunk space or their garage space. Typically there's Murphy beds or retractable beds, but this gives you another room for, even if you want to set up a table and chairs, place some cards back here, you still have the option to have sunlight come in. You can put your windows down on the side and let the breeze through. Protects you from insects, especially in the evening time.
But rain's obviously not a problem.
Rain is not a problem at all. We tested this up to 60-mile-an-hour winds, no issues at all.
Wow.
Comes with a couple straps just to make sure it's secure to the floor and secure to the rails, but it's very convenient.
That's where I could see it being useful, at least for me. If I know it's going to rain, then I can still use my deck
Exactly.
and have that whole back, the whole garage extended.
Absolutely. Yep. And then you got the rear exit here. So if you need to, you just zip this up and you can actually exit out of the rear exit. So
Still get
that's
out.
another convenient
Nice.
feature about it.
Well, Austin, I appreciate you've been a busy man all day because, you're MORryde.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Busy day, and today's been a good day. Saturday's always busy.
Yeah, but still, you're one of those names. Your engineers, to me, if I knew their names, they would be stars of mine.
They are
okay,
stars.
because they, like you said, the quality of the product to the ease of installation.
Yep.
It's amazing what MORryde does.
Yeah, and we have a great team. They make us look good. We have a great reputation in the industry, but it really goes back to the guys upstairs doing the design work and
Really
making sure it installs properly and easily, so they make it easy for the retail customer.
Again,
So,
thank you for your time,
thank
sir.
you. Appreciate
Wonderful.
it. Have a good one.